Hi, this is S. Marie Young, and this is Conscious Leadership Conversations. I'm here today with Masha Petrova, who is CEO of Null Space. And Masha identifies with type 8 in the Enneagram system of personality and development. Welcome, Masha. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Hi, Marie. Good to see you again. Great to be
Yes,
here.
it's been a little
Yeah,
while.
it's been a while.
So much has happened for you, Masha, with your company. Null Space is a fairly new company, what, about 3 years old?
Old, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Just over three
So,
years.
this 3 year journey, I want to hear about how your type 8 patterns and that boldness and activation energy that you bring, how that impacts what you have created in null space
Well,
with
thanks,
your
Marie.
team.
Well, you've seen me grow this company from very scratch before I even started, right? So
Yes.
you could probably talk more to it than I can. But we've over just the last 7 months or so, we raised our first venture capital round of funding. We've hired a sales team. We've landed some really large defense customers and aerospace customers. We started consistently grow our revenue on repeatable ARR basis. We have trade shows booked all over the place. I think we've tripled the number of trade shows that we've done in the last 3 years, just this one year. Um, so things are going really well. It's just very busy, and
Yes,
that definitely
congratulations.
requires some activation energy for sure.
It does. It does. And you those type 8 personality characteristics can serve you well, and I see that they have in this position that you have. Um just taking a company, what's that experience like driving that from, just the founders to the company that you have today and growing and raising funds and all of it. It's just a lot to carry.
Yeah, but I think the best way to describe it, so we're actually a little bit over three years, or almost 3.5 years in existence. And for me, this is the longest I've ever been at any one company. I switched over, I think, 10 companies over the last 15 years of my career.
Wow.
And it's the first time where I'm still happy,
Good for
even
you.
and inspired and just want to keep doing what I'm doing and love it. And so I think that probably perfectly describes where, for me, I have to be, I have to build my own environment, and that's when I'm happy. So as long as I get to build, which requires a lot of action, like action forward things and
Yes.
decision making things and deciding and moving and building and deciding and moving forward, is a place where I thrive. And so even though some days have been, I mean, it's a roller coaster. Everybody knows that, building a startup is a roller coaster, but for
Absolutely.
personality, yeah. But for my personality type, being in the CEO role, it feels like a perfect fit, that kind of a roller coaster.
Yes, and what I'm hearing you say is before you weren't in the driver's seat like you are now. So that energy of driving things forward, activating, being in a position where you're able to do that and do it in your own way is important.
Yeah, and it's funny too if I think back about some I had some very comfortable positions where I could have stayed for probably decades because I have some very niche experience in this engineering software space. Um, but I was so uncomfortable in some of those positions, like in the stress of not being able to move things when I want to move them, to feel trapped with a framework that was built for me by the company or the team around me or somebody else was
Hmm.
so incredibly torturous that even now, when I mean, you have days as a entrepreneur, like building a company where You just want to lay down and like not get up off your bed. There is
Yes.
dealing with with customers issues, the customers actually not so much, but mostly with, employee issues or partner issues or investor issues or your board or, whatever it may be. There's just so many things. And sometimes it's just such an overwhelming flood of things that have to be done that alone is overwhelming. But that stress is so different. It doesn't want to make me quit. It makes me want to get some sleep and then get up and do it all over again.
Hmm.
Whereas before, I was like, I cannot take it. And so when I was in those comfortable situations where anybody else would have looked at me and said, like, what is wrong with you? Just relax. Keep on like doing your 9 to 5, just check off the boxes. And you could be here forever. And like it's a decent salary and a decent company. Like anybody else would be happy here. What is your problem? And I felt like I was like in hell and I had to leave. Um, so it's kind of funny that way.
Yes, yes. And so you want to be the captain of your ship, so to speak.
I think it's really, really autonomy and the ability to have lots of sort of uncapped possibility to choose
Hmm.
from.
Hmm.
Um, Not capped possibility like in a corporate job, right? You can advance through the ranks, what there's a certain structure to it that you have to follow. And there's a certain way that you advance through the ranks where here I feel that there is opportunity is like and around every corner there is an opportunity to build something, grow something and bigger. And when one door closes, there is always going to be another open one or multiple open ones. That's stressful in its own way because you have to keep looking for those opportunities. You have to be open to them, even though like you might be tired and depressed and whatever. Um, but to me, that's just such a more exciting place to be in the world to live.
And that speaks to that edge that eights seem to thrive in, on that leading edge where there's excitement, there's adrenaline, there's something going on and something to push against.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm. And there's also, you mentioned employees. There's also this part of the eight that is um, the protector. That's one of the names for type eight. Can you speak to that and how that influences how you build a team and how you support your team?
Yeah, I think I will go out of my way to help the team members who are embodying our sort of cultural values, right? Who are so there's a couple of things that I found. I mean, I knew this from working with you, but I also found over and over again that I cannot get over. And that's number one, if there is, God forbid, a pattern of lying or not following through on things that you said you're going to do, that I cannot tolerate or get over. Like that is just that you're done. And so it's almost like, have a mental model of like, there's people in my tribe and I know who those people are. Even if you're on the team, but you've uh overpromised and under delivered, or said you're going to do something and you're not going to do something, or flat out lied about something, you're kind of out of my mental tribe. Now you could still be part of the company, but you're not in that circle that I would call like people close to me, and then you just cut out. And then at that point we know that like something's not working, and especially in the startup you just have to, I do believe that you hire slow, fire fast. um and so the people that are following their, doing what they're said they're going to do, embodying our cultural values, of the company,
That's about
and are
standing in your truth, really.
yes. Yes. So I think I have a real problem with just lies in general, especially when people lying to themselves. That I cannot deal with. And so that usually I would just walk away if it's someone outside of, family or workplace or whatever. Um, but when you're kind of like stuck in that space, I can't tolerate it. If somebody can't,
You want to know you have their back and they have your back.
Yeah, and not even so much of that. Like, if they don't care about me, like that's totally fine. Like, if that's not their job, and that's fine. But I think just if it's watching somebody who is deceiving their own selves and it's obvious, or deceiving others, but just not, yeah, standing in their own truth drives me nuts, I guess. And so yeah, the people who are on my team, I do feel very protective of, and like I will burn myself out sometimes to make sure that they have what they need. Um, but again, it's a select group of people, and like they really have to earn their way into that space.
Yes, and that's speaking also to that value, that high value you place on being real, being direct and real. No matter if it's good news, bad news, just be real.
Right. And that's not, sometimes that's just not great for some people because maybe they're not ready to know the truth or hear the truth, or maybe we've discussed this before, or maybe they approach the world in a different way. Um,
Mhm.
and so I try and accommodate for that when I can, and I try to be open-minded, like when the needs of the business are allow for that. Um, but yeah, if it's an inconsistency um, in following on what you say you're going to do, especially if it comes to customers. That's just kind of like, to me, that's very unforgivable, and it's very like binary. You know, you either follow up with what you, or say you're going, you either do what you say you're going to do, or
Right,
you don't.
right.
Um, and yeah, for me, it's I think almost impossible to come back from if you've done that once or twice or three times, that's it, you're out. Um,
Yeah. And you have a company to uphold and make sure that it's going in the right direction. And you want to make sure that you have people that are driving it in the same way as you are.
yeah, and I think in a small company that's so important, where the team that is here, um, buys into the vision and buys into the momentum of the company, because it is fast and there is no time to like just dilly-dally. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
important.
in startup world, fast is the word.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
which is, makes for an interesting um sort of a thought exercise. I'm very comfortable with that speed and I love it. Um, but does that mean only eights are comfortable? Because we certainly don't want to have a whole company of eights, that's for sure.
No, you certainly would. You'd kill each other.
Yes. Yes. Agreed.
It takes all types, and really it doesn't matter the type. Even if you were all eights, it's the level of self-awareness that you have and self-management abilities. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So from here, Masha, what what are your aspirations for the company and for yourself, your own growth?
Yeah, so obviously growing the company, growing our customers, growing our team, um, growing our technology, because it's really, really cool. The technology is really, really cool, and there's so many additional things we can do with it. Um, and so, becoming the advanced engineering software company, as we envisioned, um, that's the goal. Uh, and I think one of the things that I found that I kind of lean into. So I'm a wing seven, right? So I
Mhm.
lean in the seven type direction, in your direction of fun, right?
Yes.
Things should be fun. So um, one thing that I've gotten from our team, or the feedback that I've gotten from my team, the reason why they sort of stay and what they really like about No Space is that it's fun. Like that's how they describe working. So even though I just said how, we're move really fast, like we really need go-getters, like it's not easy, but everyone who fits into that culture and who likes that um, really has fun working. And so keeping that atmosphere of like truly enjoying people enjoying what they do, like working with some cutting edge technology, working with the most cutting edge, technology companies in the world, um, working with really, really smart people. And they're also kind. I think we have a very kind team, as well, who all want to support each other. Uh, it makes it fun. Um,
It
so
does, and that makes people want to come to work and stay too,
yes,
stay with the company. So that builds trust and loyalty. We can all use a little bit more fun.
yeah, right.
Well, Masha, this has been great and congratulations. It's wonderful to hear how things are going and um, what a dynamic leader you are and the way that your 8 qualities just fit so well in what you're doing.
Thanks, Esmery. Thank you for all of your guidance throughout the years.
Oh, you're welcome. My honor and pleasure, Masha.
Thank you.
And that's Conscious Leadership Conversations. Thanks for joining us.